Today, we're not going to talk about charisma hacks or how to fake confidence. Nope. We are talking about a system, a real, repeatable process you can actually install to build your personality and, finally stop feeling boring in conversations. So let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation, it's going, okay, and then just silence. Your brain completely empties out. It just goes blank. And you can feel that awkward pause getting longer and longer while your mind is just scrambling, trying to find anything to say. And of course, later on, you just replay the whole thing in your head, cringing and convincing yourself, yep, I'm just a boring person.
But here's the thing, and this is so important. The problem isn't you. It has absolutely nothing to do with how smart you are or how interesting your life is. The real problem is your internal system. You've got this faulty mental filter that's basically catching and killing every interesting thought before it ever sees the light of day. So today, we are doing a full system upgrade. By the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly why you freeze up and how you can literally train your personality like it's any other skill. We are installing a brand new operating system for your social self.
And this new system, it's got three main parts. First up is the unfilter. This is for your internal monologue. Second is the collector. That's how we handle your input. And third is the storyteller, which is all about managing your output. Let's start with the first one, because it's honestly the most important.
So, System 1, the unfilter. This whole part is about deactivating that little internal critic that's been holding you hostage. This is the root cause of the entire issue, right here.
So what's actually happening in your brain? Well, it's something called a self-censorship loop. It all starts with a fear of being judged, right? That fear makes you filter every single thought you have. That filtering leads to silence, which then just reinforces that belief you have about yourself. See? I knew it. I have nothing interesting to say. It's just this awful, vicious cycle. And just look at the difference here. Your brain's default filter is always asking these nervous questions. Is this good enough? Is this interesting? What if they think it's dumb? It's all about seeking permission. The unfiltered system, though, it changes the questions entirely. It asks, is this true for me? And how could this connect us? It comes from a place of contribution, not a place of fear.
So how do we install this new system? We start with a really simple daily practice, the 3-second rule. The next time you're in a pretty low-stakes chat and you have an impulse, a thought, a question, whatever, you just give yourself 3 seconds to say it. That's it. No debating, no second guessing, you just go. This is how you start to break that lifelong habit of overthinking.
Okay, so now that we're working on unblocking your output with the unfilter, we need to upgrade your input. And that brings us to System 2, the collector. Honestly, this is where a lot of people mess up. They focus so much on what they're going to say that they totally forget about the skill of actually gathering stuff to talk about in the first place.
This right here is the whole idea. The goal isn't to be more interesting, it's to get better at being interested. You don't need a crazier life. The secret is that truly interesting people are just really good at paying attention to their own curiosity and to what's happening around them.
Let's break that down. Default listening, we all do it. You're just waiting for your turn to talk. You're not really hearing, you're just reloading your next sentence. But systematic listening, that's totally different. You're treating the conversation like you're collecting data. You're listening for specific keywords, for emotions, for little doors you can open to go deeper. You're not looking for validation anymore. You're looking for understanding.
And here's the daily practice for it. It's called the layer down question. Just once today, in one conversation, your only job is to ask a question that goes one level deeper. So instead of the usual, what do? Maybe you ask, what's the most surprising thing about that job? Instead of, how was your weekend? You could ask, what was the highlight of your weekend? It's such a small shift, but it turns a boring exchange into an amazing data gathering mission. So you've started to unblock your filter. You're collecting better data from the world. Now what? Well, now we get to System 3, the storyteller. This is about taking all that raw material, your thoughts, your observations, all of it, and shaping it into something you can actually share with people. And this is the absolute truth. Your life is not boring. You just have a terrible filing system for it. Think of it like this. You have this massive, incredible library full of experiences, but you haven't bothered to catalog anything. So when you need a story, you walk in, you look around, and you can't find a thing. You think the library is empty, but really, it's just completely disorganized. We can fix that with a super simple formula for what I call a micro story. You don't need some huge dramatic plot. A great little story just has 3 parts. First, a simple observation about something that happened. Second, your personal feeling or reaction to it. And third, one small surprising insight you had because of it. Observation, feeling, insight. That's it. That's a story.
And the practice for this is the end of day story. Every night, before bed, just take 30 seconds to find one tiny moment from your day and frame it using that formula. Like the coffee machine broke, which was super annoying, but it made me realize just how much my entire morning depends on that one single sip. You're not even doing this to tell anyone else. You're just doing it for yourself, to practice cataloging your own life.
Okay, so we've covered the unfiltered, the collector, and the storyteller. But just knowing about these systems isn't enough. Now comes the handoff. This is where we turn this knowledge into your new identity.
This is probably the biggest identity shift you need to make. Stop trying to get a personality. That whole idea implies that you're missing something, but the truth is you already have one. Your real job is just to build the systems that remove all the junk, the fear, the overthinking, the self-censorship that's been hiding it this whole time. And we're going to kickstart that whole process with a very simple challenge. Just for the next 7 days. And it's so straightforward. For the first 2 days, your only goal is to use the 3-second rule one time, just once. On days 3 and 4, you do that, and you add in one layer down question. Then for the last 3 days, you do all that, and you practice telling one tiny micro story to another person. That's all. The goal here is not perfection, it's just repetition. Because really, this is what it all boils down to. You stop chasing charisma. You stop hunting for a personality. You just focus on the daily reps. You trust the process. Because if you build the system, the personality appears. If this whole idea of focusing on systems over just, motivation, if that resonates with you, then go ahead and subscribe. We're all about building better systems for a better life.